Welcome to this explainer. Okay, picture this. You're standing in a massive airport terminal, clutching your ridiculously overpriced bottled water, and you've got that familiar, heavy knot of anxiety sitting right in your stomach. Sound familiar? You're probably wondering what actually happens between getting that visa approved and finally stepping out of the airport into a whole new country. Look, for a lot of first-time international travelers, this whole process feels completely overwhelmingly complicated. And unfortunately, a lot of folks end up making pretty costly mistakes simply because they kind of just don't fully understand the system. Well, that's exactly why we put together this explainer. Think of this as your absolute ultimate chronological blueprint. We're going to walk you through the entire international travel system, step by step, helping you understand every single stage of your journey from start to finish. Our goal? Helping you travel with absolute confidence. Actually, we can take this overwhelming global system and break it down into a huge structural sigh of relief. Just 5 highly manageable phases. We've got 1. Securing your travel visa. 2. Booking the right flight. 3. Navigating airport departures. 4. Mastering transit stops. And 5. Arrival and customs procedures. Let's just jump right in. All right. Phase 1, securing your travel visa. Now, this isn't just some boring piece of paperwork. It is absolutely the bedrock of your entire journey. So, the crucial point is, what actually is a visa? At its core, it's official permission that allows you to enter another country for a very specific purpose, whether that's tourism, studying, working, business, or just visiting family. It is literally the legal key that unlocks the door to your destination. Now, getting that visa follows a pretty strict logical order. First, you gotta deeply understand the specific requirements before you even think about applying. Then, meticulously gather all your documents, submit flawlessly accurate info, provide proof of your finances, and finally, demonstrate your genuine intentions for the trip. And hey, you know what the single biggest reason for a visa refusal is? It's not some grand conspiracy against you, no way. It's usually just incomplete or inconsistent documentation. So always double-check your application before you hit submit. Moving right along to phase 2, booking the right flight. Once that visa is finally approved, so many travelers just blindly rush into booking the very first ticket they see without comparing options. Let's talk about why that's a massive mistake. Now, what's really interesting about this checklist is that it's basically your smart traveler toolkit. Please don't just obsess over that base flight price. You really need to look closely at things like layover durations, baggage allowances, and those sneaky hidden transit visa requirements. You've also got to consider the airline's reputation and your actual arrival times. Oh, and here's a pro tip that will save you from endless headaches. Make absolutely sure the name on your ticket perfectly matches your passport, literally letter for letter. Doing that avoids major complications at the airport. Okay, phase 3, navigating airport departures. Look, I get it. This fast-paced environment is where the nerves usually hit hardest. So let's completely demystify those pre-flight checks right now. Let's just break down the literal sequence of events before you're board to completely eliminate that fear of the unknown. Number 1, you've got airline check-in. Number 2, your baggage goes through screening. 3, you step through the personal security checks. And 4, immigration clearance. That's it. Just 4 predictable steps standing between you and your departure gate. Now imagine you're stepping up to the immigration booth. The officer looks at you and is likely going to ask, where are you traveling? What is the purpose of your trip? How long will you stay? The absolute secret here? Do not overthink it. Just answer confidently, honestly, and make sure your answers perfectly match whatever you put on that visa application. To just totally breeze through that interaction, you need to have your arsenal ready. Keep your passport, your visa, your boarding pass, hotel reservation, return ticket, and any necessary financial documents super easily accessible. Being organized like this just immediately proves to the officer exactly who you say you are. And this brilliantly illustrates the overarching golden rule of international travel. Preparation is the ultimate antidote to panic. Seriously, by having those documents ready to go, you completely avoid that cold sweat of fumbling blindly through your bags at the counter. Preparation is absolutely your best defense against travel anxiety. All right, phase 4, mastering transit stops. This middle ground between flights, this is exactly where so many first-time travelers tend to get a bit confused and turned around. To put it as simply as possible, a transit stop, or a layover, is literally just when you change planes in another country before you reach your final destination. It sounds simple, but managing this gap really does require your active attention to keep the whole journey on track. Even before you board your first flight, you should know your transit airport's layout. Verify exactly how long your layover is, double-check if you need a specific transit visa just to exist in that airport for a few hours, and figure out your connecting terminal. And please, if you get turned around, just ask the airport staff for help. Missing a connection disrupts the whole shebang, so you've got to stay alert. And finally, Phase 5, Arrival and Customs Procedures. You've landed. Take a breath, but let's move to and see how this builds, because remember, the journey isn't officially over quite yet. Here are your final chronological steps right when you arrive. First up, you'll go through arrival immigration checks and passport inspection. Next, you'll grab your luggage from the carousel, complete your customs declaration, and finally, walk through those exit doors. Once you do that, congratulations, you have successfully navigated the globe. You see, international travel really doesn't have to be complicated. By simply understanding visas, flight bookings, immigration procedures, transit stops, and arrival requirements, you completely avoid those common mistakes that trip up so many people. By the way, if you're actually planning your next international trip right now, you can find expert travel assistance, visa guidance, and global opportunities over at travel.org. It's a genuinely fantastic resource to help you out. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final kind of provocative thought. You now possess the blueprint. The whole terrifying unknown has been completely mapped out for you. So, are you ready to travel smarter, travel prepared, and make every single journey count? Take this knowledge, conquer your next international destination, and seriously, have a fantastic trip.